Hello there folks, and welcome to another, what shall I call it? Big pile of stuff, what I've printed video. I'm the Lone Adventurer. Thank you very much for stumbling your way upon this video. If you enjoy it, please do consider liking it and subscribing to my channel. No doubt some of the material that you see in this video will pop up again in future videos when I'm actually playing with it. Now, I did one of these videos before where I get a great big load of stuff printed out at a professional printer's, and I did my printing with a company called Zoo. This is a UK based company. They're very, very good. I can highly recommend them. If you want to consider using their services, please consider using the link in the description below, and that will help me purchase future bits and pieces to show you on the channel. Now, I would say I had my cart up and running at Zoo for maybe 2.5 or 3 months, gradually adding little bits and pieces to it as and when things turned up, because you have to spend a certain amount of money to get the free postage and packaging, which is why there is so much stuff here. So what I'm going to do is move these booklets to one side and start with the individual sheets that we've got printed out, and we're going to go through the entire lot of stuff that we've got here. Alrighty, so these are the individual sheets. First item we've got here is a hex map for a game called Star Drifter, which I've got over here. We'll talk about Star Drifter in a bit, but because the map is very, very black, my home printer doesn't really cope with solid blacks, so I figured that would look a lot nicer printed out professionally. Ooh! Now, I haven't looked through these at all, so this is super, super exciting for me. This is, what's it called? Mini Rogue, that's it. This is Mini Rogue. This is a game I've had on my hard drive for probably years at this point, several years, and I've hesitated to print it out only because I'm a bit of a completist, and you can't get print and play versions of any of the expansions to this game, to my knowledge. If I'm wrong about that, please do tell me in a comment below this video, because I would love to get more. But it's a very mini game. Look at that. It is 9 cards. So that's not going to take me very long to make at all, and hopefully I can get a playthrough of that one up at some point. It's a dungeon crawly type game, but one that's very pared down and minimal. So that is Mini Rogue. What have we got next? This is super fun. Honestly, I've just been staring out my window for the last hour, waiting for the delivery person to show up. Aha! Right, so there's going to be a lot for this one, I think. This is these are card backs for the Tower of the Ice Lich. I can already see a mistake. Now, I had some trouble with these cards because the PDF, I'll try and make this is boring, but basically the PDF contained multiple pages of cards and then only one page of card backs for each set of pages of cards, which doesn't really work when you have to send the PDF off to a company. So I spent ages going through, splitting the pages out of the PDF and creating separate PDFs that could then be printed separately, so I could ensure that I've got all the card backs. And I can see here, this one, super annoyingly, I've printed double-sided. So there we go, that's our first error of the print, unfortunately. But never mind, I can print out, well, maybe, we'll see how it goes. I'm going to have to maybe print out a set of backs separately and just deal with the fact that they look slightly different, because when I print out at home, I don't get the same level of quality of print, unfortunately. So we're going to have lots of ice licks. That's good. I can see these ones. These are the backs for the events. That's great. The backs for the rooms. Oh, such a shame that first one didn't work out. Then we've got our characters by the looks of things, all with sort of slightly Viking sounding names. Well, maybe not all of them, but Aldif Olafdottir, the Lich killed my father. I will avenge him. They've all got strength, dexterity, intelligence, and health and sanity and luck. There you go, there's the characters, there's my backs. This is good. Looks like it's going okay. Apologies if you're fed up of looking at Tower of the Ice Lich Lord, whatever it's called. Then we've got, yeah, these are cool. These are the sort of room cards, I think, as you're exploring the tower. If you live in America, you can get this game made at Drive-Thru Cards, Drive-Thru RPG Cards, or Drive-Thru Cards. I think it's just Drive-Thru Cards, the sister site of Drive-Thru RPG. Now, Drive-Thru RPG, we can quite reasonably get printed in the UK, but unfortunately, the cards version, not so much. So, having watched the Dungeon Dive video on these cards, on this game rather, I wanted it. I don't have any 8-bit sort of aesthetic games, and it looked really appealing to me. So the only option was to print it out myself. And man, there's a lot of cards. That's going to take a while to put together. Okay, then we've got the rules for the Tower of the Ice Lich. Lich? Is it Lich? I think it's Lich. Tell me in a comment. I'm pretty sure it's Lich, but I always sort of freak out about how to say that word. And then we're on to this game, which is a one-player, play-in-hand game that I have forgotten the name of. Ah, it says here. Brilliant. Galdar's Grip. Galdar's Grip is available on itch.io. In fact, is it just itch.io? I think it might be on Board Game Geek as well. But anyway, I liked the aesthetic of this game, and I'm not usually one for in-hand games, but this one was so small and so aesthetically pleasing. I like the art on the back of the cards. It looks a little bit like sort of a mystical pagan Alan Moore. And the art looks great. Now the art, interestingly, is AI generated. I'm fairly sure I'm correct about that. I am hesitant about AI generated art. Being someone who draws myself and puts art out into the world, I am a little bit hesitant, but it's undeniable that these cards look cool. And so I'm not gonna deny myself having this game. So there you go, that's Galdar's Grip. Hey, this is one of the games that prompted this print run, really. It's a game called One Card Dungeon. And there we go, we've actually got 2 sheets here, so it's a nice, simple little game. This is because I backed the recent Kickstarter for the expansion, and I got the original game included in that. So I don't know which one is the original game. I think this one is the original game. You've got a ranger, a wizard, a barbarian and a paladin, and then this is the one card of the title, the One Card Dungeon. So that's flipped over, double-sided. And you've got some other information on here. I don't really know what it's all about, but these, I guess, are the bosses that you face and various stats related to the bosses. I'm not really sure how it works, but I love the idea of having a game that's absolutely complete on virtually one card and a couple of little cards to represent your characters. And that's the expansion with a cleric, a knight, a necromancer and a rogue, and a second one card with some different environments and some different baddies to face. So that's One Card Dungeon. Again, reckon I'll get that one made up pretty quick. So of the booklets, we're starting with this one, which is Writhing Wasteland. And this is a good example of why it's nice to have a reliable printing service like DocZoo, link in the description below, because this was a solo RPG type game that I backed on Kickstarter, and I had to go digital because otherwise it was too expensive. I think it's like the designer is based in Australia, maybe? I'm not too sure. But anyway, I am willing to back some physical content on Kickstarter when it's outside of the UK. If it's in the UK, I'm much more likely to back it. But if it's outside the UK, if it's something I really want, and this sort of, I liked the look of it, I liked the aesthetic, I kind of fancied having a copy, but I didn't desperately want it. So to back the digital copy and then print my own copy is the win. So this game, who are you? You are a scout from a post-apocalyptic compound and you have just discovered a large raider camp. It is your job to get back to the compound and warn your people. There is a vast, dangerous wasteland that separates you from your goal. Mutated animals, a burning hot sun, treacherous ruined land, wanderers of the waste, lack of water. And a raider has just spotted the reflection of your binoculars. You're low on supplies, out of ammo, and trying to keep 2 steps ahead of a pack of raiders while dodging the worst the wasteland can conjure. You'll be all right, kid. So very much in my wheelhouse. I like the sound of that. I've got a few sort of open world exploration-y games going on at the moment. Things like Miru, I'll pop a link in the corner of the screen. Things like Barbarian Prince, where you're wandering around a great big map. So I like the idea of this being more linear. You're on a journey, trying to make your way from point A to point B, and some stuff will happen. Now, this game has, there you go, look, you can see you draw a little linear map like that. This game has a mechanic that is based on a Jenga tower. I don't have a Jenga tower, but here it does assure you that you don't have to do that bit if you don't want to. But if I see a Jenga tower somewhere cheap, then I will probably grab one for playing with this game with. Alright, so we've got some rules. It uses a deck of cards. You draw a card and it gives you a event. So, I mean, there's a little bit of concern from my point of view that will make it less replayable. Once you've seen the events, you won't want to play again. But I've got so many games like this that it doesn't really matter if I only play it once or twice. And you can see it's incredibly simple, and it's got some cool 2000 AD style, grungy, evocative artwork in it. Yeah, there you go. That's Writhing Wasteland, which is from, I should have said the designers of the other games as well. I apologise for not doing that. But this one is from Stuart Watkinson, and it's a wretched and alone game. There we go. Right, on to the next one. Harper's Quest. I got this on itch.io. I don't think it's possible to get this printed anywhere unless you sort it out yourself. This is a sort of a traditional fantasy solo RPG type game. And it lists some inspirations here, things like Dungeon Crawl Classics, Black Hack, Basic Fantasy, Iron Sworn, Scarlet Heroes, and Fallen. Yeah, so let's have a look. You start out, you generate a quest, rolling some dice, give yourself a goal. What is the place you're going to? Where are you going to? Why are you going there? Type of boss. Then you draw out the dungeon. You create an adventurer. Quite like the sort of scattershot style of page layout and design we've got going on here, with different fonts and things, weapons and magic and spells, room sequencing, avoiding a fight, and we've got an oracle which covers everything. So we've got a general no and, no but, yes and oracle along the top. So I've never really used an oracle like that. I know how they work, but because I've never really done any pure solo role-playing, I haven't got much experience using that sort of oracle. Outcome, how does this situation work out? Is it a disaster? Is it bad? Is it good? Is it great? How do NPCs react to what you've done? Look, and then it covers doors. What's the state of the door? Is it open? Is it stuck? Is it locked? What's the value of the treasure you've just found? So you find treasure, you roll a dice, you roll a 3, the treasure's worth 65 gold pieces. That's very good. What a thorough little oracle we've got here. Covers all sorts of things. NPC actions, item searching, room contents, the enemy that you come across, how many of that enemy, enemy reaction to you. Fantastic. Rules on NPCs and hirelings, rules on traps, then you've got your combat rules, creating enemies, bosses, quest prompts. Then we've got an example quest here of some kind, or adventure rather. And then we've got some more random tables at the back. Cool. Harper's Quest 2. That might just be the first actual solo RPG that's more like a traditional RPG that I give a go. Next up, we've got a new expansion to Glide. Glide is a game I've played on the channel. I'll pop a link up in the corner of the screen right about now. This is a game from Cody Barr at Sleepy Sasquatch Games. And this expansion allows you to go above the land, the planet where the game is set, into outer space. Rules for space travel. And then, if you're familiar with the game, everything is very much in line with the game, except you're in space. You can visit a space station. We can get some crew. We can sell relics at the space station and scrap. We can create our ship and upgrade our ship. And then we've got a bunch of quests that we can take on in space. Some rules on space exploration, and you're done. Nice and simple, nice and short. I do hope to eventually bring Glide back to the channel and to implement this and the smuggling expansion, which I have also not used. Pushing onwards, we've got Ecomos, which is a straight up traditional roleplay game meant for group play. For use with Cairn. Interesting. So I don't know if you need to have Cairn to play this game, but Cairn is a very short game, and I do have a digital copy of it. There's no index at the front. I don't know whether he's added that now, and I've just got an old one, an old copy. So I'll read the introduction. Ecomos is a mid-future cyber eco-punk ruin-delving survival game as player characters, PCs or punks, seek a safe homestead to start a new community. Around 200 years ago, everything went to shit. The wealthy, who created this mess, effed off to Mars, while the lucky ones hid in vast underground bunkers. We were left to fend for ourselves on the surface, eking out an existence in the broken world they left behind. Searching for remnants of a past world to help us survive, searching for a place to call home. Play a group of misfits who have found each other in the wastes and ruins of the fallen world. The past is just a hazy legend, a story scattered over thousands of USB sticks and servers, but the future is there to be written. Right, so this is a game that I had for a while, but I didn't get round to printing it out or indeed reading it that much because I don't play role-playing games, generally speaking, with a group. Well, I am playing with a group at the moment, but that tends to be one game, and I'm not in charge. My interest was additionally piqued by this game when I saw, and I hope I say the name right, I think I'm going to say it wrong, but Keopolis, who is another gaming YouTuber. He did a video on this game, and I really liked the overland generation system. It looked super interesting. So I thought I'd print it out, so at the very least I can read it and enjoy it, and who knows, maybe play it at some point in the future. I'll put a link to Chaocalypse's game in the corner of the screen, and apologies buddy if I pronounced your name incorrectly. So you pick a punk. I'm going to have to rush through this one because it's quite chunky. We've got different characters there, fighters, technicians, and we've got equipment and loot. We've got there's lots of tables in here, which is cool. Armour table, ingredients, stuff, weapons, new stuff, old stuff, unique stuff, cool stuff, key items. And then we've got rules on how to play, taking damage, morale, using spells, luck rolls, all sorts, how to handle magic. Is this a D66 table of spells I see? No, it's not. It's just 100 spells. Cool. Smoke form. Your body becomes a living smoke that you can control. Summon cube. Once per second you may summon or banish a 3-foot wide cube of earth. New cubes must be affixed to the earth or to other cubes. So is that like a Minecraft style spell where you can build up cubes? They're numbered and yet they're also in alphabetical order. I don't know why that bothers me, it probably shouldn't. Deafen. All nearby creatures are deafened. Liquid air. The air around you becomes swimmable. That's cool. Okay, then we've got rules on how to start a game, wandering, how to generate locations, how to generate a basic map. Then we've got some encounters tables. It's great. And then this is the stuff that I found interesting. This is sort of like as you generate your map, you generate a series of little point crawls. You've got the entrance, and then you've got like optional routes through to the end. It's a cool little system. So I think all of these tables and structures and things mean that this game definitely lends itself to some degree to solo play. Is this events? I think these are these events? Or locations? Environment, feature. Okay. So we've got quite a few different environments and features of those environments. This is great. I'm actually quite excited about this game. I think I am going to have to try a little bit of solo RPGing with this game. Alright, we'll skip the rest I think. Oh look, Chaocalypse has some art in this game as well. So we've got this cool art at the end, near the end. I'm not sure if there's more in here as well. Factions, cool. That's Ecomos, one that I'm definitely looking forward to. 3 left. First one is We Deal in Lead. This game has been around for a couple of years now. There's already some playthroughs on YouTube. I'm not sure whether I'll get round to it. I mean, it's definitely a game I'm intrigued by, but not necessarily a game that's gonna get high priority on my channel. It's a hard-hitting Weird West Wonders adventure game of weary gunslingers exploring a world that's moved on. You look at the friends beside you, fellow gunslingers of the Order of the King. The arduous trek across the bleached desert is over, and now you stand before a fabled lost slip door. Though tested, the Order's fellowship stands true. Not sure I understand that entirely, but maybe it becomes clear as you play. You grasp your trusty gun's worn sandalwood grip and push open the door. You gasp as the sharp sea air hits your lungs, gulls caw, and the foam sprays your face like a baptism. You step through the open door into another world. Ooh. Now, I have watched playthroughs of this before, but a while ago. I sort of thought it was a straight Western, but clearly not. Combat and exploration gameplay designed for 1 or more players, including solo or group play. Streamlined D20 roll under rules based on Cairn, Into the Odd, and Knave. Interesting. Compatible with other Cairn adventures and settings. Journey into other genres and eras. Interesting. I wonder if there's guidance in here about how you would do that. Recruit heroes from other worlds to join your quest. Keep the bonds of fellowship strong within your gunslinger order, and your aim will remain true. Wow. I think there's more to this game than I realised. Oh, look, and you can see on the front, he's looking through a door into a fantasy world of a dragon. Wicked. So we've got principals, rules, I guess, wardens and players. Some nice art there. Character creation. This has come out quite nicely, this book. I'm quite happy with how it looks. This happened with the other book. Oh, that's annoying. This happened with the other one. I was... that's a shame. I should have looked more carefully. One of the other books I'm about to show you, this page should be on this side, shouldn't it? So this spread should have page 8 on this side and then page 9 on this side. So it looks a bit weird actually now I think about it, because the page numbers should be out here, the dark edge should be over here. So that's annoying, but this is the risk. And I had so much in this order that eventually I just sort of lost my mind a little bit and I had to just say, that'll do. Anyway, we've got some rules. Items and equipment, combat rules. It's all fine. I mean, it'll work. It's just going to bug me a little bit. Combat example, wilderness exploration, and then we're on to some encounters. Other worlds, so when you're going through into other realities. Companions. Interesting, it's not really what I thought it was going to be. I think there's a lot more emphasis on the player being creative than I thought it was going to be one of those games where there's lots of like tables and prompts, but maybe not. And then we've got an adventure here, so we've got a starting adventure. And then we've got some encounters. So we have got some encounters. We've got a bit of a bestiary at the back. It's a very nice looking book, and I love the art. It's a shame I messed up the printing a little bit. Anyway, that's Weed Deal and Lead. Looks cool. Penultimate game is Lock. This game I put into my order for somebody else who I thought would like it. So I'm never going to play this game. This is for somebody else, but it's a little puzzle game. You've got these little beasts called locks. It's like a word game basically, but it's a word game without any words, or real words, I think. So you have to cross out when you see the word lock, and then it gradually introduces new elements and new rules. Sometimes it tells you what the rules are, sometimes you have to work them out yourself, and then they get a little bit more visual. And more crazy stuff starts happening, and it keeps going and going. I mean, it looks really cool, and the little locks are super cute. So if you like puzzle games, that might be one. I got this off itch.io as well. That's Lock, little bonus one. And then the final one is Star Drifter. And this is a science fiction adventure game, and by far the largest thing I've ever printed out. This is 250 odd pages, and I'm trying not to be too devastated by the fact that I've done exactly the same thing with this book as I have that other one I just showed you. I'm pretty sure I've got them the wrong way round. So there are some, where are they? There you go, there it is, you can't even see it. There's some little side of the page references, and they're going to be useless to me because they should be on the outside of each page, and they're not because I got them the wrong way round, and they're in the middle. So that is a shame. And also I printed this out A5. I think it probably could have done with being bigger. Definitely could have done with being bigger, so it's quite small, which doesn't bother me too much, but it does mean that the holes are going through some of the content, which is a little bit of a shame. Looking through this, I'm confident that it's not going to affect my ability to play the game, but the perfectionist in me is a little bit sad. So Star Drifter, created by Ken Kennedy, available from drivethrurpg.com. No doubt it will be available printable at some point, but I was impatient and wanted to get my own copy. Let's just read this little introduction here. This game will be a new experience. You are about to become a character in a story that changes each game. You are a traveller in a fictional galaxy. This is a solitaire game. You play it alone. In this story game, you read one numbered section after another. Each describes a new situation or provides rules about the choices and actions you can make. There are hundreds of events and situations, so each game will be a new, fresh experience. So I've got my map that I showed you earlier. I don't know a huge amount about this game. I mean, we've got some rules here, including ship creation. Then we've got the different actions that you can take, details about those actions, combat, going to spaceports, combat. So this is the digital version. So I've got a page here that says click on the page number to return to this index. Never mind. Okay, and then you're into it. You've got I think I briefly interacted with the designer, and he said that this game is based in no small part on Barbarian Prince. So a lot of the rules are bedded in to the actual play itself, and you can see E001, the first event, the adventure begins. So once you've read those things, you're straight in, you read the adventure begins, and then the rest of the book, all 250 pages of it, are just additional events. So it goes all the way up to event 247. And actually you can see, even should we just looking at event 247, Survivor, I guess you encounter a survivor, and even here you roll a d6 and there's 7, so I suppose there's a way of adding on to your roll. There's 7 possible situations just in that one event, so it's absolutely huge. There you go, event 166 is a silent colony, and even here we've got 7 or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so 6 different events just in that one event there. So it's not 247 events, it's hundreds and hundreds of different events and things that can happen. And I am excited about this one. I am. So I really hope that I'm able to make the time soon to play Star Drifter. But as you can see, I'm a little ambitious. I've got a lot here and a lot that I haven't played besides. Anywho, if you've made it this far, thank you very much for watching. Do consider dropping a comment below this video, letting me know which of these games or systems you're most keen to see. And thank you very much for watching. I've been the Lone Adventurer, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.